Hi, I'm Mr. Locking, and this is Crash Course Grade 6, and today we're going to talk about numeration. Ugh, why do we have to learn about this? There are like 150 million billion things I'd rather learn than this. Well, me from the past. Numeration allows you to conceptualize, understand, and communicate about things as tiny as the smallest microbe or as big as the planet Jupiter. Plus, 150 million billion sounds way better as 150 quadrillion. So, numeration is how we talk about and conceptualize numbers. There are 5 key concepts in grade 6 numeration. 1. Place value. 2. Big numbers, numbers to the billions. 3. Decimal numbers to the millions. 4. Comparing decimal numbers. And 5. Rounding. Let's go to the whiteboard. Okay, so you have this number right here. The question is, how do you read this number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? No, that is not how you read it. Okay, well, and in order to read this number and really understand the value, you have to know place value. So I'm going to draw a little box around this. And with the magic of television, okay, you can see that every number has its own place. Everyone is in its own little box, right? We're in a base 10 system, so the highest number that you can put into one box is 9. So not only do each number have its own place or its own room, every group of 3 has its own home. We call that the period. So this green home here, those are just base units. Then this red home here, the next 3 numbers, those are in the thousands. And this black home here, the next 3 numbers, are in the millions. Now these keep going up, billions, trillions. Now you can think of each of these homes like the exact same home. They all have 3 rooms. They have a ones room, a tens room, and a hundreds room. A ones room, a tens room, and a hundreds room. A ones room, a tens room, and a hundred room. And so in order to read this number, you would just read out 123,456,789. Done. 123,456,789. But wait, we still have all these pesky numbers after the decimals to deal with. The units room, R1 has a special room. He actually has a mirror in his room. Okay? And as we get to the right of the decimal, we're talking about parts of a whole, and it just mirrors what they would be going up. So it's the 10ths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths, and so on, 100,000ths, 1 millionth. And what that means is that 10 of these make one whole. But how do I read it? Okay, well, when you're looking at just the numbers right of the decimal, you read it like any other number, 123,456 millionths. So, to read this number, we would have 123,456,789 and 123,456 millionths. Okay, when we're talking about big numbers, talking about numbers like this. So 7,125,000,000. That's it. 7,125,000,000. Okay, this is the population of the Earth. This is how many people live on Earth. Okay, and in standard form, this is how that number would be written out. Okay, but if you're on the web, if you're on the newspaper, you would see a number that looks like this instead. 7.125, and then it would have the word billion. Okay, now these two things, these mean the exact same thing. These are the same, okay, and it's because this word billion, what that means is 9 zeros. It means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 zeros. So you could either have it written like this, 7,125,000,000, or you could move your decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 places and name it 7.125 billion. We're talking about decimals. You'll be asked to compare decimals. So what's bigger, 14 hundredths or 900 thousandths, okay? You look at this quickly, a lot of people will be tricked into answering this number, but when you're looking at a decimal, the further to the right, the smaller that number is, okay? And so one trick is to just fill in the same amount of place values, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you can see that 1,400 is definitely bigger than 900. Rounding. So you'll be asked, round this number to the nearest tenth. Okay, so if you know that this is the 10th position and we're supposed to round this stuff to the nearest tenth, you need to look at the number 1 smaller in the place value. So you look at this 8. Okay, if it's greater, 5 or greater, then move it up. If it's less than 5, move it down. Okay, so 8 is greater, so it's going to round this 3 up to a 4. Okay, so it'll be rounded up to 0 decimal. Okay, so there's a very short review of number and numeration. Okay, we have a couple questions for you. How do you write the number 521,345,721 in standard form? This is question 2. According to the United Nations, in Ethiopia there are about 3,019,390 births a year. In Brazil there are about 310,250 births a month. Estimate to determine which country has more births in a year. So, today we looked at numeration, how to communicate about numbers, big and small. We learned about place value and how to read a number, the difference between standard form and decimal form. We looked at tiny numbers to the millionths and how to compare them. Finally, we looked at rounding and when we should round up or when we should round down. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.